Yo, YouTube, what's good? Greetings and salutations, it is your boy, Uncle Jim!
There he is, Uncle Jim, Superman of St. Louis!
I appreciate it. You know who's calling it out. Left, best, west, he's out there, probably on a trip through the Angeles National Forest, trying to make sure he sees those trees before the fire warnings bring him to the ground. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Wizard of Westwood. It's Mr. Curtis Magic.
Curtis Magic got the redwoods. It's all good.
Word to Big Bird. Ladies and gentlemen, you have
nature fan
through and let us know in response to a video that you wanted to see a different video.
That's right.
Here we are. We dropped a good
for you.
We dropped an original Dooo reaction, and you guys were like, suckers, man, that's that old guitar. That's that old style.
Why are you doing one when you can do a 3 for 1?
So we're hitting you with all three. We got guitar solos with Dooo on the new guitar. Let's get into it. 3, 2, 1. Boom.
What's going on, my dudes? So today's video is something that's been requested a lot. A lot of you guys have asked if I can cover my old solos on the new guitar, I guess just to see what they sound like on the Music Man. So I thought instead of just like covering everything and like playing over the old backing tracks, I figured I'd just redo everything on the Music Man and sort of like change the tracks up a little bit. So let me know what you think down below, which version sounds better to you guys. You know, the original on the Squire or these versions on the Music Man. I think I'm gonna have to do a full cover of Hallelujah pretty soon too, because you guys have been asking about that pretty much every day since I put that video out. But yeah, other than that, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Let's go.
Buttery smooth. Like butter. steal one of my favorite TikTokers expressions. Gorgeous. Who's that a picture? Who is that? What?
It's like I'm trying to like, because it's a little bit nauseating, like I'm trying to keep it down. The talent and
This
talent.
dude, this dude.
Yeah.
I mean, talk to him.
So working backwards, we just talked about Horizons, but we saw an older one with an older older guitar.
Older guitar, there's the Squire on there.
The Squire, yeah. It was still fire, but he got better.
When you're talking about technique and quality,
yeah,
just if you ratchet up the audio, it makes a whole world of difference. So it feels like his speed was up. I mean, it felt like it was just cleaner. Yeah,
speed. I mean, some credit to the guitar, I guess, for intonation and things like that. But like, he just had a more of a command of the tune, also. Like, but at that point, like he
personally of the three, I really enjoyed about Ascend. I mean, Horizon. What I enjoyed about Horizon is, again, one of my all-time favorites. I've worn a couple of T-shirts.
Yeah.
One of my all-time favorite bands is Killswitch Engage. Yeah. And again, in the genre of speed and screamo, whatever, however you want to label that kind of new metal style, there is a lot of harmony guitar components where you got, two guitarists that will trade off. They play sort of rhythmic leads. I wouldn't call them solos necessarily. They're just kind of note for note versus chord. And they play them, an octave away from each other. And I just love that. I just feel like there's such a orchestration there. So totally I'm a fan of the way he did that in Horizon. And another reason, I really enjoy that particular tune. And it's got a pacing to it that was a little bit different than the first two, than Eclipse and
it's got, it's a more, just to be speaking really kind of rudimentarily, it's just got more of a classic rock feel to it than the other two. And so it was welcoming vibe to come back to it after the first two, which were both fire, but just to have turn the corner a little bit and go in a different direction.
Yeah,
stylistically,
for sure. I would say that Ascend and Eclipse are definitely more in that experimental style.
Right.
Way more orchestration
in the realm of what you hear in video games and anime and which is amazing. And speaking of which, Ascend to me is like very much in the world of the Kingdom Hearts and some others, right? Even the chord progression is a little bit like the I think it's called Dearly Beloved. It's like the intro theme to Kingdom Hearts, and which he gets requested, by the way. Sometimes people ask him to play it in the Omegle vids, but to me that's like, oh, this is maybe a little bit of a window into some of his inspiration, like what has kind of led cognitively to the kind of music that the Dooo composes for himself.
Well, yeah, and there's a we've said this time and again, but the orchestral nature, the idea that he's going to come in with a introduction piano piece, chord progression, then put in sort of this kind of a layer with the acoustic of just creating the melody line and giving you kind of this sort of directionality as to where it's going to go. And then the solo, obviously he just gets, that is 100% his improvisational space where he gets to just create. First of all, it's such a tremendous display of his speed and the cleanliness of his technique. A lot of people, and maybe even some professional, players in bands and the like, they seem to cover up their note to note, the intonation, the cleanliness, the resonance with a lot of distortion and a lot of just like kind of fast play with the ear kind of recognizing, okay, he switched notes, but again, technique and speed.
Oh yeah.
When you've allowed yourself to have a clean enough sound where it's not fully fuzzed by some kind of heavy effect, I mean, this guy's out there in full display, and it's brilliant all the time.
Yeah, it makes a big difference to be able to see him doing it, versus if you were just listening to it on Spotify or whatever. To see the speed and distance of some of those slides and things like that, really stunning and perfectly executed.
I love all the influence of music outside of. Like I said, and we mentioned this again before in I believe the first solo video, you know, he doesn't stay in the box of 12-bar blues pentatonic scale.
That's right.
You know, he is, you know, he is putting so many, like the, you know, circle of fifths. You know, for those of you who've taken some guitar, you know, you understand that that's sort of like an anchor point to go out and to really explore all the different, and there's influences in that, in those in that methodology of Eastern sort of like sitar music or Middle Eastern you know, classical style, where your scaling has a very kind of ethnocentric style to it, and he is using all of that. He's incorporating all of it. And man, when he did the double finger tapping,
like the tap harmony,
and he's doing a harmony, so he's off octaves. I mean,
insane,
brilliant.
Man, it's insane.
Brilliant.
But you're right. I think part, maybe what you're referring to in some spots is where he's got a real sort of, it's like more than a tremolo or whatever, with the, it's more than just a little wiggle on the string. Right, it's enough to get almost into like quarter tones. Where you're talking to some of that almost Eastern influence type stuff, which I think it's like, man, that's, you don't hear that too often. And it's really, it's really a wild ride.
Well, because a lot of people in the genre will be listening to bands, and you do have to give up certain sort of theatricality in your playing when you got a vocal that people are supposed to be listening to.
Right.
So that's why when you get into more of the Steve Vai's and the Joe Satriani's, you know, the guys that are just putting out solo guitar albums, that's what this is. It is super ethereal. It plays with a lot of non-traditional environments in terms of where you're getting your influence. Because I mean, if you listen to a lot of mainstream rock, metal, whatever, you know, it's kind of rooted in that blues space, right? And a lot of that is structurally created so that the vocalist can have his time. You're getting something out of the percussion section, you know, all of those. Everybody's got to eat. But when you're the guy who's saying, I'm going to focus on creating something that doesn't have to be, you know, married to verse, chorus, verse, bridge. You know what I mean? Then you're really seeing somebody put their, you know,
and in the mix, all that, you know, from the piano and, you know, synth sounds and even the beat, it's sort of a canvas. It's just mixed down so that the lead guitar could really shine and stand out, be up in front, and you can get away with stuff that you're absolutely right. We completely lost in the mix of a normal, you know,
one amazing technique that I had not seen in a while. I know that there's certain individuals, when you play, you know, they'll put index and thumb down and then do the curl for your picking hand. So really the pick is doing all the work. But guys who are really expanding, they'll also allow themselves to do some, you know, kind of alternate finger picking while they're doing their main picking. So there was a moment where he's doing bends and that the pinch harmonics, which is a resonation play where you have to, you know, you're talking about finger pressure control out, you know, off the charts. And then at the same time, he is doing some alternate picking with, you know, with his pinky and, you know, index finger or ring finger. That's insane, because you know, this again, it's talking about the layers. It's recognizing that when you put, you know, sometimes I'll watch on TikTok these guys who will break down a song and they'll start from like, you know, the tenor section or the bass section, and you're like, okay, I know the song they're singing, but it sounds wonky. Then they'll give you the full, you know, they'll give you the full harmony, you know, like with the melody and everything.
Right.
And you're like, oh, I didn't even know. And it sounds just like what you hear on the radio. And you're just like, oh, this is that layering component. This is why you have a producer. This is why they're saying, hey, you're giving us the basics and we're going to turn this in, you know, you're giving us a sketch and we're going to turn this into a 3-dimensional piece. And so for a guy to do that on his own in his bedroom, it's
pretty
insane.
wild. And to be playing those parts, like he's not, you know, I mean, maybe it's like a garage band drummer or something like that. But to be able to play, we've seen him play the keyboard, you know, so gorgeously. And other instruments as well. So
this is a master musician at his craft.
This
making it look easy, making it look, you know, like for you and I, it's walking and breathing, and this guy's on the guitar, just like creating masterpieces. So
it's unreal, man.
Yeah, and listen, we all know there's a subtext to what's going on with this.
Right.
I mean,
that's right.
Talking about eclipses,
you're talking about
and horizons.
You're talking about ascension.
Right. Again, we recognize we're not alone.
That's right.
We're not alone in the universe.
That's right.
Right.
And look, at this point, it's getting so real that the government can't even deny it anymore.
I mean, the Navy pilots are out there, and they're trying to give us the truth.
This is happening.
And this man is clearly just saying this is the language. So we appreciate you coming through and being a part of
the family. Come on.
Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up. Thank you for coming at us so aggressively in the comments. Like, hey, dummies, why would you do these one at a time on a crappy guitar? Don't you got stuff to do?
But do you see how we got to experience the evolution together this way?
That's true.
So there you go.
You and I,
silver lining.
We're on a journey.
Right. That's right. Hey.
And the conclusion to most journeys is a sort of a culmination.
Exactly. That's right.
What's the word I'm looking for? A summarization, if you will.
That is it. That's true.
And that can only be delivered by the West Coast Wizard.
Hey. We're facing the horizon. We see an eclipse. And as we ascend, we lean into the Doo's lips.
Okay, now that was, ladies and gentlemen.
He got me heated. He got me. Yeah. Got my blood boiling. I just.
This is where the kids say he felt a certain kind of way.
But the way that he plays, imagine how the man kisses.
Yikes, ladies and gentlemen.
Gone too far.
A little bit of love and a little bit of joy. We're going to end it with a little bit of peace.
Yo, you know I'ma run this, kid. Shouts out to Curtis Magic and Uncle Jizz. Yeah, when I do my lyrics, dog, I'm repping for the faction. Hit them up online for the fly-ass reactions. Yeah, out to him, I be giving mad love. Yo, shout to Uncle Jizz, I'ma give you the plug.